I just talk about like life as a web developer. Some of the things that I learned, and most of it doesn't end up being code related, but it ends up tying back into code. And like to tie this into code, one thing that I like to do now is the API first approach. So basically deciding on what the final product of your code is going to look like first, like figure out what you want that API to be. What are the function names? How are you going to use it? And this is kind of like, I think this is one of the reasons people love TDD, for the TDD nerds out there, because if you write a test first, you have to write your API first. You have to know, you have to create the vision of how your code is going to work first. And therefore, it tends to look how you want it to look in the end, and it tends to be nicer to use. And I've started going even further ahead with that now. I'm doing a documentation first approach where I try to write the documentation for my very core libraries, not for everything, but for the stuff that I use everywhere in the system. For example, things where you're dealing with models. I like to write the documentation so I know exactly how that's going to work. I give examples of how you would use it. I show what the API looks like and write all that out. It doesn't mean it can't change. Sometimes you're implementing things and it changes a little bit, but that approach has completely changed the way I write code, and it is amazing. And it's basically just a vision first approach. Like, how do you want this to look? Dream up the most beautiful API possible. Dream up the most amazing result for your code possible, and then build it. And I think you'll find that not only is it easy to build, because you can then just focus on actually building the thing, but then it ends up being more of a joy to work with. Yeah.